There is a tree in sub-Saharan Africa that can live for 2,000 years. Some of the trees alive today were already mature when the Roman Empire fell. They survived droughts, bushfires, and centuries of climate variation by storing tens of thousands of liters of water inside their trunks. That tree is the baobab, and the fruit it produces every year, a hard, football-sized pod that dries naturally on the branch while still attached to the tree, contains more vitamin C than 6 oranges, more calcium than a glass of milk, and a higher antioxidant concentration than almost any fruit measured by modern food science. It has been eaten and revered across 14 sub-Saharan African cultural traditions for thousands of years, and most people in the Western world encountered it for the first time less than 20 years ago, when it finally cleared European food safety regulations and entered the supplement market. Today, we're going to look at what baobab actually contains, what makes its biology so remarkable, and how you can use it practically and sustainably. This is one of the most extraordinary food trees on Earth, and it deserves to be understood properly. The baobab, Adansonia digitata, is the dominant species of 9 related trees found across Africa, Madagascar, and Australia. The African baobab grows across the savanna belt of sub-Saharan Africa from Senegal to Ethiopia and from Sudan down to South Africa. In many areas, it is the largest living thing for hundreds of kilometers in any direction. Its nickname, the Tree of Life, is not poetic exaggeration. The baobab provides food, water, shelter, and medicine simultaneously. Its hollow trunk stores up to 120,000 liters of water, which communities have historically tapped during droughts. Its leaves are eaten as a vegetable, comparable in nutrition to dark leafy greens. Its bark fiber is woven into rope and baskets. Its seeds are pressed for cooking oil, and its fruit is perhaps the most complete food package any single tree produces. In West Africa, the baobab appears in the origin stories and spiritual traditions of the Wolof, the Mandinka, and many other peoples. In Zimbabwe and Botswana, communities have gathered under specific ancient baobab trees for decision-making and ceremony for generations. The oldest known baobab specimens, some estimated at over 2,500 years old, are considered living historical monuments. The fruit is biologically unusual in one specific way. It dries naturally while still on the tree. Unlike almost every other fruit which requires human or animal intervention to process, baobab fruit powder forms inside the hard outer shell as the fruit hangs on the branch. By the time it falls, the pulp inside is already a dry, chalky powder, white to cream in color, tangy in flavor, and ready to eat. The nutritional analysis of baobab fruit pulp is, by any measure, striking. Its vitamin C content on approximately 280 to 300 milligrams per 100 grams of dry pulp is among the highest of any fruit analyzed. By comparison, fresh orange pulp contains around 50 milligrams per 100 grams. The baobab's advantage is even larger than it appears because baobab is consumed as a dry powder, making small amounts highly concentrated. Baobab's antioxidant capacity, measured by the ORAC scale, reaches approximately 140,000 micromoles per 100 grams. Blueberries, consistently cited as one of the highest antioxidant fruits available in Western markets, measure around 9,000 to 13,000 on the same scale. Baobab is not slightly higher. It is in a different category entirely. The fiber content is also notable. Baobab pulp contains roughly 44% dietary fiber by dry weight, significantly higher than most fruits. Crucially, Approximately half of that fiber is soluble fiber, including prebiotic compounds that research has shown to selectively feed beneficial gut bacteria. A study published in the European Journal of Nutrition in 2015 found that baobab fruit extract significantly increased populations of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium in human subjects after just 4 weeks. Calcium content is a further standout, approximately 293 milligrams per 100 grams compared to roughly 125 milligrams in whole milk. The bioavailability of baobab calcium has not been studied as extensively as dairy calcium, and this is an important caveat. Not all plant calcium is absorbed at the same rate, but the raw concentration is genuinely impressive, and the combination with vitamin C is nutritionally meaningful, as vitamin C enhances iron absorption from plant sources. One aspect of baobab that is worth understanding before you buy it is the sourcing question. The baobab boom in Western health food markets, which accelerated sharply after the European Union approved baobab as a novel food in 2008, has created both opportunities and problems for African harvesting communities. The good news: baobab fruit is wild harvested, not cultivated. Baobab trees are not farmed. They grow wild and are harvested from naturally occurring trees. This means the fruit is inherently low impact from an agricultural perspective, requiring no irrigation, fertilizer, or deforestation. Communities that have harvested baobab for generations are the natural producers. The concern: as with many commodities that achieve sudden international demand, the economic benefits of the baobab trade have not always reached the harvesting communities equitably. Large international distributors have captured significant margin, while the women who typically do the harvesting and processing in communities across Zimbabwe, Malawi, and Senegal have sometimes seen a limited improvement in their income. When buying baobab powder, looking for certified fair trade products that name specific sourcing regions and communities is meaningfully better than buying generic African baobab powder from unknown distributors. Brands like Aduna have published detailed sourcing reports and work directly with established harvesting cooperatives. That level of transparency is the standard worth looking for. Baobab powder has a bright, tangy flavor, often described as a cross between lemon, vanilla, and tamarind. It is naturally sweet and acidic, which makes it versatile in both sweet and savory applications. And because it is already a dry powder, it requires no processing at home. You simply measure and add, the simplest use. Stir 1 to 2 tablespoons into a glass of water or coconut water. The tartness makes it an excellent lemonade-style drink with no added sugar needed. It dissolves readily and has a pleasant, light flavor that many people enjoy on its own as a daily morning drink. In smoothies, baobab powder pairs particularly well with banana, mango, and pineapple. It adds a bright citrusy note and significantly boosts the vitamin C and fiber content of the drink. In baking, it works well substituted for a portion of the flour in muffins or energy bars, adding tang and nutrition without altering the texture significantly. The baobab tree has been feeding people for 2,000 years without any help from modern agriculture. It grows in harsh conditions, produces food without irrigation, and sustains communities in some of the driest regions on Earth. It doesn't need our discovery, but it deserves our attention and our respect for the communities that have always known its value. Thanks for watching. The next video in this series covers a plant that most people in the Northern Hemisphere walk past every autumn without realizing it's one of the most iron-rich foods growing in the wild.